Welcome back to Money Mind 101. Let me tell you about Alex, a bright-eyed young man just starting out in the world. He was eager to experience all that life had to offer, from the simple pleasures to the more extravagant adventures. He was full of dreams and aspirations, ready to take on any challenge that came his way. Who got his first credit card at 21? It was a rite of passage, a symbol of adulthood and financial independence. He felt a sense of pride and responsibility as he carefully filled out the application, envisioning all the possibilities that this little piece of plastic held. With a $5,000 limit, it seemed like an enormous amount of money at the time, a safety net for unexpected expenses, and a gateway to instant gratification. He imagined all the things he could buy, the experiences he could have, and the freedom he could enjoy. It felt like free money, a limitless source of purchasing power that required no immediate sacrifice. The allure of instant gratification was strong, and Alex found himself drawn to the ease and convenience of swiping his card. So he used it for small things, those everyday expenses that seemed insignificant on their own, but quickly added up over time. He didn't realize he was setting himself up for a long-term financial burden. Coffee, a daily ritual that provided a much-needed boost of energy and a moment of relaxation amidst the hustle and bustle of his busy life. Lunches, quick and convenient meals that allowed him to refuel during his workday without having to worry about packing or preparing food. A game, a form of entertainment that provided an escape from reality and a chance to unwind after a long day. A weekend trip, a spontaneous adventure that promised new experiences, unforgettable memories, and a break from the monotony of everyday life. He always paid the minimum each month, diligently sending in his payment on time, feeling a sense of accomplishment for fulfilling his financial obligations. Thinking he was being responsible, managing his debt effectively, and maintaining a good credit score. He believed he was in control of his finances and making smart choices. The minimum was just $100, a seemingly insignificant amount that barely made a dent in his overall balance. Less than his phone bill, so he didn't worry. It seemed manageable, affordable, and not worth stressing over. He was confident that he could handle it. But he never noticed his balance barely moved, remaining stubbornly high despite his consistent payments, sometimes even growing as interest charges accumulated and new purchases were added to the mix. The insidious nature of compounding interest was slowly working against him. Years passed, the seasons changed, trends came and went, and Alex continued to make his minimum payments, oblivious to the financial quicksand he was sinking into. Alex wanted a car loan and also to buy a condo, taking the next steps toward building a stable and secure future for himself. He was ready to invest in his dreams and create a comfortable life. At the bank, he learned the harsh reality of his financial situation, a rude awakening that shattered his illusions of financial well-being. His debt-to-income ratio was terrible. The weight of his accumulated debt was crushing his chances of achieving his goals. That $5,000 card was a huge red flag, a glaring symbol of his financial irresponsibility that was now haunting him. The loan officer showed him, patiently explaining the details of his credit report and the impact of his debt on his borrowing power. After nearly a decade of making minimum payments and accumulating interest, the true cost of his seemingly harmless spending habits was finally revealed. He'd paid thousands in interest, enriching the credit card company while barely making a dent in his principal balance. But his original debt was still there, a persistent reminder of his past financial mistakes. The small purchases had cost him far more than he ever imagined, a hidden price tag attached to every swipe of his credit card. Double, maybe triple, their price. The interest charges had transformed those affordable treats into extravagant luxuries. He realized he'd been paying for a subscription. Not to a streaming service or a magazine, but to something far more serious, to his own debt. A never-ending cycle of payments that seemed to go nowhere, trapping him in a financial purgatory. For almost 10 years, a chunk of his income, a significant portion of his hard-earned money, had been silently siphoned away. Went to interest on things he barely remembered buying, fleeting moments of pleasure that had long since faded from his memory. His manageable minimum payment, the very thing that had lulled him into a false sense of security, had become his greatest enemy, had become a financial prison. The bars were invisible, but the consequences were very real. The daily coffees and lunches weren't just small treats, they represented a much larger problem, a pattern of unchecked spending and a lack of financial awareness. They were anchors, weighing him down and preventing him from reaching his financial goals. The true cost of convenience, the price he paid for the ease and speed of credit card spending, was far greater than he ever imagined. Was years of lost financial freedom. Years he could have spent investing, saving, and building a brighter future. Alex finally saw the trap, the insidious cycle of debt that had ensnared him for so long. Minimum payments keep you stuck, not safe. They are a tool used by credit card companies to keep you in debt longer, profiting from your interest payments. He wished he'd paid attention to the real cost, the long-term consequences of his spending habits. Not just the minimum due. The minimum due is a mirage, a deceptive figure that hides the true cost of your debt. The lesson? Small debts left unchecked can snowball into a massive financial burden, can haunt you for years. They can delay your dreams, limit your opportunities, and steal your peace of mind. Don't let a $5,000 coffee or any other seemingly insignificant purchase derail your financial future. Steal a decade of your life. Take control of your finances, make informed decisions, and prioritize your long-term well-being. Pay attention, pay more, and break free from the shackles of debt before it's too late. The sooner you take action, the sooner you can reclaim your financial freedom. Your future self will thank you. They will thank you for your discipline, your foresight, and your commitment to building a secure and prosperous life. The minimum payment is the smallest amount your credit card company requires each month to keep your account in good standing. It's usually just 1 to 3% of your balance or a small flat fee. It looks helpful, but it's a psychological trick, making you feel safe carrying debt. Most of your payment goes to interest, barely touching the principal. You think you're making progress, but you're just treading water. The minimum payment is the teaspoon they give you to bail out a sinking boat. Let's break down the math behind those tempting minimum payments. It might seem like an easy way out when you're facing a mountain of debt, but trust me, it's a slippery slope. We're going to expose how these small payments can actually keep you trapped in debt for much longer than you think. We'll uncover the hidden costs and show you why understanding this math is crucial to taking control of your finances. Let's say you owe $2,000 on your credit card. Not an uncommon situation, right? And let's assume your card has a 21% APR, which is also pretty typical for many credit cards these days. This APR is the annual interest rate you're charged on your outstanding balance. Now, your credit card statement says your minimum payment is $40. Seems manageable, doesn't it? A small price to pay each month, but here's where the deception begins. A whopping $35 of that $40 payment doesn't even touch your principal. It goes straight to covering the interest charges that have accrued on your balance. That means only a measly $5 actually reduces your debt. Yes, you read that right. $5. So next month rolls around, you make another $40 payment, and the same thing happens. Almost all of it goes to interest, and your balance barely drops. You might even feel like you're running in place. If you keep making only the minimum payment month after month, year after year, it's going to take you over 17 long years to finally pay off that $2,000 debt. And here's the kicker. During those 17 years, you'll end up paying around $2,800 in interest. That's more than the original amount you borrowed. So, that initial $2,000 purchase you made, by the time you finally pay it off, it will have cost you nearly $5,000. Think about what else you could have done with that extra money. This is precisely how so many people find themselves trapped in a seemingly endless cycle of debt, struggling for decades to break free. The minimum payment is designed to keep you in that cycle, constantly paying interest and barely making a dent in your principal. It's a system where your hard-earned money is constantly flowing to the bank, lining their pockets while you struggle to get ahead. Your money works for the bank, not for you and your financial freedom. Every single month you're essentially paying for the privilege of being in debt, prolonging the inevitable and costing yourself a fortune in the long run. The longer you stick to paying just the minimum, the wealthier the credit card company becomes, profiting from your debt and keeping you stuck in their system. The math behind minimum payments might seem simple on the surface, but the consequences of only paying the minimum are absolutely huge and can have a devastating impact on your financial well-being. Don't let the deceptive math of minimum payments trap you for years to come. Take control of your finances, understand the true cost of debt, and break free from this cycle. That $2,000 laptop you bought? If you only pay the minimum, it could cost you $4,800. The interest alone could buy you another laptop and a new phone, or think of it as 467 fancy coffees. That's money you gave the bank for nothing. The minimum payment is a hidden tax on your future. It starts small, but interest never sleeps. Over time, a trickle becomes a flood, and your debt grows into a mountain. Life happens, unexpected expenses pile on, and the spiral deepens. Each new charge makes the minimum payment even less effective. The debt snowballs and climbing out gets harder. Don't let a small debt become a lifelong burden. Credit card companies profit most from interest, not from people who pay in full. If you only pay the minimum, you're their favorite customer, a revolver. The statement highlights the minimum payment to make it look easy and safe. It's a business strategy, not a favor. They want you stuck, paying interest for years. Your struggle is their business model. See the minimum payment for what it is, a trap, not a safety net. Understanding this is your first step to freedom. The minimum payment preys on our desire for comfort. When you see a $3,500 balance but only owe $70 this month, it feels manageable. You start budgeting for the small payment, not the real debt. This tricks you into spending more and ignoring the true cost. Each month you get positive feedback for doing the bare minimum. It's financial procrastination, putting off pain for short-term relief. The problem only grows. To break the cycle, focus on your total balance, not the minimum due. See the minimum payment as a baited hook, not a lifeline. Winning the psychological game is the first step to escaping debt. Feeling trapped by debt? Overwhelmed by minimum payments that seem to barely scratch the surface? The solution? It's simpler than you might think, and it's within your reach. Always pay more than the minimum. It's a game changer. Those minimum payments are designed to keep you in debt, paying mostly interest. Even $10 or $20 extra helps. It might not seem like much, but those small amounts add up quickly and make a significant difference in the long run. Every extra dollar attacks your principal, not just the interest. This means you're actually reducing the amount you owe, instead of just treading water with interest payments. If you pay $100 a month on a $2,000 debt at 21% APR, you're making progress. But imagine the impact of adding just a little more. You'll be debt-free in 2 years, but by increasing your payment, you can shave months off that timeline. Not 17? That's the difference between making minimum payments and taking control of your finances. You'll save thousands in interest, money that can be used for your dreams, your future. Instead of lining the pockets of credit card companies, use the debt snowball, pay off your smallest debt first for a quick win, to build momentum and stay motivated, then roll that payment into the next debt. It's like a chain reaction of debt destruction, or use the debt avalanche. Pay off the highest interest debt first to save the most money. This is a more strategic approach that minimizes the total interest you'll pay. Both methods work. The best method is the one you'll actually stick with. The key is to pay more than the minimum every month. Consistency is crucial for seeing real progress and building positive financial habits. Make a plan, stick to it, and watch your debt disappear. It's a journey, but with each payment, you're one step closer to financial freedom. The faster you pay, the less you pay. Accelerating your debt payoff saves you money and frees up your resources for other goals. Take control and start today. You have the power to change your financial future. If you think you can't pay extra, it's time to budget. Track every dollar in and out, apps, spreadsheets, or pen and paper. You'll spot leaks, lunches out, unused subscriptions, daily coffees. Cut what you can and redirect that money to your debt. Boost your income. Pick up extra shifts, freelance, sell unused stuff, or try gig work. Even $300 extra a month can slash your payoff time. Combine spending cuts and new income for maximum impact. Every dollar you free up is a dollar closer to freedom. Attack your debt from both sides, expenses and earnings. This is how you go on the offensive and win. Alex's story is a warning but also a call to action. Now you know the trap, so take control. Don't wait. Pull out your statements, look at your total balance, and commit to paying more than the minimum. Make a plan, even if it's just a small extra payment to start. Every dollar above the minimum is a step toward freedom. The journey is tough, but every payment is a victory. Imagine the relief of making your final payment and owning your income. Start today, budget, find extra cash, and attack your debt. You have the power to change your financial future. If this helped, like and subscribe to Money Mind 101 for more smart money tips.